Well, hello there, everybody. Week 7 of the high school football season is in the books, basically, and we got through it with a great night of weather. Thank goodness for one of the first times this season, and about 70 degrees. No problems, no issues, no lightning, no raining sideways, no 60 mile per hour winds. None of that. Just a football game, and I had the Lawrence North Warren Central game tonight. Lawrence North wins it. Going away, 33-7. Man, both these teams 6-0 coming in, but really it was Lawrence North that dominated almost from the get-go. It was ended up being 20-7 at halftime, and Warren had a chance to get back in the game a couple different times in the second half. Couldn't string together enough on offense, and yeah, I'll tell you, Lawrence North's defense is as good as their offense has played this season, and Davion Chandler I thought was really good again. Tanner Aspel hit him for about a 47-yard pass, 48-yard pass on the second play of the game, and got Lawrence North in business there. And then another nice pass to him on third down on the first drive, 19-yard touchdown pass that made it 6-0. And after that, Lawrence North, they never trailed. Went into halftime up 20-7. It was 20-0 at one point, and then 20-7. Then second half was, like I said, it was a couple missed opportunities for Warren, but really, no big plays allowed by Lawrence North's defense. Dayon Lunsford had they call him Day Day. Day Lunsford had a big 94-yard fumble return for a touchdown. He's in on about everything on the defensive side. It seems like he's always making plays in the backfield, always around the football, making things happen. Him and Marcus Jackson, probably two of the more underrated players on that defense. In a group of underrated players on that defense. Like I said, I think the offense, rightly so, gets a lot of credit, a lot of attention. But that defense is, I think, what's going to make this Lawrence North team one that's not only a conference contender or a sectional contender, but really a team that can go a long way and possibly even win a state championship. I would not put that past them, because I think it's just the type of year we're having right now in 6A. It's sort of wide open at this point, and I think it's this Lawrence North team. The last 2 weeks I've watched them. I really think they are that type of team that can do some things deep into the season, and be a team that's competing with the top teams in 6A this year. So, like I said, really good win. Davion Chandler, I think, had 6 catches for over 100 yards, roughly. I think 114 or so is what I had him for. Isavion Moore didn't have a huge statistical game, but he had 93 yards rushing. They did a pretty nice job on him defensively. And Warren's defense, I thought they were put in some bad spots and still played pretty well. But it just wasn't maybe the dominating performance that they had to have to win this game. Just because the Warren offense is not, fully, clicking, I would say. They did run the ball pretty well at times. Kendall Garnett played most of the game at running back for Warren. Jalen McMoore came in and played some there, and they did have success running the ball at times, but just couldn't either string together drives or get big plays out of that offense. So, Warren's not, they'll be, I think, fine. They've got some games upcoming, in their sectional that they should win. They clearly the favorite in the sectional, no doubt about that. And then potentially down the road we'll see Center Grove in the regional. So they just have to keep improving up until that point. And to be honest, I thought Jaden Rivers, from the times I've seen him earlier, I thought he's playing better at quarterback, throwing the ball better. But they just got to be more consistent on offense. I talked to Mike Kirshner about that after the game, and they just have to be more consistent, on that side of the ball. And defensively, I think they're fine. It looks bad to give up 33 points. I know when you're that dominant coming in, and I think people are probably surprised to see him give up 33, but it wasn't all, that 33 wasn't all in the defense either. So just one of those nights you get back to the drawing board, and they'll have another chance to get back after it next week, and the next 2 weeks before they get into sectional play, get that week off, and then get into sectional play. Some of the other scores tonight. One of the, I mean, Brebeuf. What else can you say? 83-65. They beat Terre Haute North. Terre Haute South, I'm sorry, tonight. 83-65. That's high scoring even for a basketball game. So, Brebeuf, I don't have the stats yet on that from that game, but they continue to do crazy things for sure this season. And that's a team that's going to be a handful for anybody to see down the road. Franklin Central was a winner tonight, 22-13 over Fishers. Good win for Franklin Central. They are 5-2 now, I believe. So that's another good win for the Flashes. Fishers playing without their starting quarterback has definitely taken a bite out of their offense. But and then the other the other big 6A game tonight, Cathedral beat Center Grove 49-45. A wild one there. I was texting with Clark Wade, our video extraordinaire there. He was at that game, and he was texting me about that game, and I don't think, he was saying he didn't think there was a punt in that game up until the final, maybe the final couple minutes there. But I know Cathedral was down in that game, 38-27, and again 45-35 late in the third quarter, and then into the fourth quarter, Cathedral came back, got a touchdown, and then got an onside kick and scored again. Xavier Dangerfield got the 24-yard touchdown run to put him ahead with about 4 minutes left, 49-45, and just obviously a very high-scoring game, a lot of offense in that game. And looking for a few stats here, McWilliams for Center Grove had 317 passing yards, couple touchdowns, but was intercepted 3 times. Dangerfield 196 on the ground and 3 touchdowns. Devon Slaughter had a long catch. I saw 72-yarder. He ended up with 117 overall receiving wise. So wild game. Cathedral, again, they're a team that could see Lawrence North down the road in the sectional. Probably will see them, in fact, unless potentially Lawrence Central could have something to say about that. But both 2 good wins for potential sectional rivals, Cathedral and Lawrence North tonight. Cathedral again beating Center Grove 49-45, and Lawrence North beating Warren tonight 33-7. So again, two good victories there for potential sectional rivals. Looking at some of our other, and again, you can find a lot of this on IndyStar.com. Our Lutheran beat Monrovia, just drubbed them 49-14. That was Akeem Glaspie had more on that game if you want to check that out. We also had photos from that game. Big upset tonight. Mooresville beat Whiteland 24-21. So that's a big one. Mooresville kind of been struggling and got a win last week against Franklin. They beat Whiteland this week. So good win. Ben Davis 58-30 over Carmel. That's a surprising score. Not necessarily that Ben Davis won, but I'm surprised that that was the final score, 58-30. And I was looking for some probably get you a couple stats on that game at least here in a second. And Ben Davis said, they just kind of, it's 1-5, but you feel like they're better than that. Tonight they were able to hold Carmel to 16 rushing yards. They did give up 306 through the air, but yeah, it looked like, let's see, Ben Davis had 184 passing yards, Mark Zachary 56 receiving, Stapleton had 94 receiving, and Elijah Price, big night. He had 171 rushing yards on 24 carries, so big night for Elijah Price. Anthony Colner was 23 for 42 for Carmel in that game for 255 for the Greyhounds, but 58-30. 21 points in the fourth quarter for BD to put that one away. They were up 30-20 at the half in that one. Triton Central beat Cecina 19-16. Pretty close game. Cecina scored 16 in the fourth quarter, so they were on the comeback trail there, coming up a little bit short against a very good Triton Central team. Let's see here. Roncalli lost to Cincinnati LaSalle 28-17 on the road. Yeah, Brebeuf, I was looking here, so I got some of the stats here. Maverick Geske, 542 passing yards, 20 had 17 for 25, 6 touchdowns. Taylor Clark, 361 receiving, on 7 catches. So uh, that sets the school record for points with 83. Total combined yards 1,538. Combined first down 63. Yeah, just weirdo stats once again from Brebeuf Terre Haute South. That's a crazy. That almost it beats the Guerin game from a couple weeks ago as far as just nuttiness goes. So that quite wild there. And reading a little bit more about Cathedral's win over Center Grove tonight, 49-45. Yeah, onside kick kind of set that up. Xavier Dangerfield with the touchdown run to put them ahead. And Dangerfield, like I said, 196 on the ground, and had yeah. So that's just a kind of a surprising score there as far as the maybe not necessarily the winner, but just the number of points put on the board by both those teams. So Center Grove goes down to defeat tonight. So yeah, looking around some other scores. Chittard beat Andrean 39-14. Brownsburg beat Zionsville, another wild score, 66-28 tonight. In that one, Cascade stays undefeated. They beat Northview 41-14. Decatur Central over Greenwood 44-7. Delta beat Pendleton Heights 27-26. Let's see, HSC comes. They were tied, I heard, in that game against Noblesville. They win at 28-21. Heritage Christian beat LaPel 40-21. Indian Creek beat Tech 44-7. LC beats North Central 42-7. Let's see some of the other one. Martinsville, that game was close with Perry Meridian. Martinsville comes back, wins 41-21 over Perry. Mount Vernon 45-21 over Newcastle. Shelbyville falls 35-0 to New Pal. Pike beats Guerin Catholic 42-3. Plainfield 34, Franklin 13. And then some of the other scores, some of these not in yet. Westfield, they come back after last week's loss to Brownsburg, win 45-13 over Avon. In that one, Westfield over Avon. Yorktown beat Greenfield Central 21-7. That's a bit of a surprise. Western Boone 36-6 over Southmont. And like I said, Triton Central beat Cecina 19-16. Tri-West 70-0 over North Montgomery. Speedway beat Covenant Christian 29-0. Sheridan beat Delphi 21-7. And let's see here if I can find a few more scores here. Crown Point in 6A, that's a statewide score. They stay undefeated, 42-0 over LaPorte tonight. In that one, Beech Grove 28-27 was a close one over Ritter. And let's see here. Yeah, it probably covers the crux of it, but Plainfield over Franklin 34-13, may have mentioned that one. But yeah, so good night of football. Again, Lawrence, I had Lawrence North 33-7 tonight over Warren. I really do think in a year where it seems like everything's kind of open in 6A, I think that team is a real deal. They can throw, they can run, they can stop the run. They have speed. They're not a huge offensive line or anything like that, but I think they're well positioned to make a pretty good run. Beating Cathedral will be a big challenge for that Lawrence North team, but I think a lot of confidence, a lot of chemistry, continuity with the coaching staff, all those things kind of play a factor when you're talking about building a program, which is what Pat Mallory has done there at LN. So good stuff. Fun to see programs it's hard in football to get programs turned around to that extent, especially in 6A, and especially around here where you have so many other good programs to battle up against and try to overcome. So they got a good thing going. And again, thanks for joining me here. Week 7 of high school football. We'll have a lot more, obviously, at IndyStar.com and throughout the weekend. And then again, Monday with our wrap up and new state rankings and all that good stuff. So thanks again for joining me here, Kyle Nedrint from the Indy Star. We'll talk to you next time.